On this week's Most Craved, where's Luke?
If adventure has a name, it must still be Harrison Ford.
And if Suicide Squad has a name, it's Suicide Squad.
Hey guys, welcome to Most Craved. I'm Jenna Busch with Legion of Leia.
I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
And I'm William Bibbiani with CraveOnline. Hey.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Okay, so first big thing everyone's been talking about is Luke Skywalker not in any of the Star Wars trailers, which is not actually technically true, I think, because his voice is in one of them, and I think that's his hand touching R2. But J.J. Abrams has now said that it is not an accident that we're not seeing him, which of course it's not.
Yeah, you'd think like, oh no, we forgot about Luke.
Oh,
holy crap!
We forgot Luke.
Recall the trailers. We need to put Luke in them.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously there is a reason for this. Now, there are a zillion theories. If you don't want to hear anything, you might want to fast forward right now.
This is all speculation.
We don't know anything. So
this isn't a spoiler. My theory is that we haven't seen Luke because it's supposed to be a surprise when he bursts out of Jar Jar's stomach.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
But there are people who say he's Kylo Ren. However, I don't believe that at all. Kylo Ren, he's taken off his
That seems
helmet,
pretty unlikely.
And, yeah, it's Adam Driver. It's not. There are people who say that.
Well, in all fairness, Darth Vader took off his helmet and he wasn't James Earl Jones or David Prowse, so who knows?
That is a very good point. There are people who say that the Knights of Ren were a group of Jedi that he was training and that they've all gone dark. I mean, this is all speculation, obviously. Now, in the books, there's some. People talk about him being the last Jedi and how it's that everyone all over the universe would have known that. But that's not true. It's a huge universe. There's one person. The Jedi are not really in existence anymore. That's from what we hear with Rey, that when she's talking to Han Solo in the trailer, that this has all become a legend.
And it kind of
After
already
only
was.
like a couple of years.
Not after a couple of years, because while Luke blew up the Death Star, he was just a farm boy that drew up the Death Star. Nobody knows about him as a Jedi Knight,
Right.
and he wasn't a Jedi Knight at that point. Even though he fought Darth Vader on the Death Star, nobody knows that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
but, hang on a second. They knew he was a Jedi when he went into Jabba's like sand palace.
Who did?
Well,
The criminal underworld?
Yeah,
Jabba did.
Yeah, but what happened was when the Empire took power, they sort of like eliminated all history of the Jedi. They didn't want him out there, and we saw that in A New Hope.
Right.
With Vader,
with Vader, and
Yeah.
there was a couple of the guys
Yeah,
like, you're
and-
outdated religion, blah blah
Yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah blah.
Nobody. I mean, they're saying Darth Vader's this huge, scary guy, and they're like, yeah, your religion's stupid.
What
So,
sort of religion denies it becomes like we're in a religious fascist regime in which the two priests of a religion control the entire galaxy, and then they decide to eliminate the religion.
I don't
Yeah, that's what
necessarily-
happened with Star Wars.
What does
Everything
that-
prior
why
to
would that-
2012
why does that
is
make
no
any
longer part of the
sense?
canon.
Why would you
Very-
take away your religious sovereign power over an entire galaxy? Why?
Well, okay, we're not going to debate the Force.
All right, fine,
but,
okay.
But
This is a
also,
bigger-
like,
this is a bigger topic,
But
okay.
if you read the books, you realize that some things happen after the fall, after the second Death Star explodes, and obviously when there's a rebellion, everyone's like, oh hey, rebellion, that's great. And then you have to find something to take the place of the regime that you've toppled.
Right.
And also, you've just blown up the Death Star. The Empire is everywhere else. So there is a particular scene in one of the books which very much indicates that even though the Death Star is blown up, the Empire still does have power in certain places.
Well, that was originally the plot of the Timothy Zahn novels as well. I mean, that's just kind of that's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so this one guy in one spot does one thing. The rest of the universe isn't necessarily going to hear about it because we don't have the internet.
That's right. They don't have any
And it's
means
not
of
a YouTube
communication.
They have
There's
a
no
HoloNet.
newspapers.
They do.
Although if you watch the HoloNet broadcasting, which are in canon on the viral website, they're pretty in favor of the Empire.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I think my guess is he's a hermit. He has been seen shooting.
I think also when you go back to like A New Hope, you have this storyline where the characters are going to rescue Leia, and
Yeah.
I could totally see Luke becoming that. And whether he went off and he's missing, or he just goes to Dagobah and becomes a new Yoda, he's gone somewhere, and I suspect we're not seeing him till later in the movie.
Yeah, probably. I'm guessing third act.
My only concern is whether he's the new Leia or whether he's the new Yoda or whether he's the new Vader. I don't want this to become like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, where we're going through all of the things we've seen before, just slightly shifted around. I want something new. So it would disappoint me if any of those things were 100% true.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. I suspect most of the rumors that are out there are not true. But my guess is we will see him in the third act of the movie.
Right.
So, and I also feel that he's probably not the Vader character because of the thing that they have him say, like, the Force is strong in my family. And it doesn't really sound like, come join me on the dark side, Yeah.
Well, that would be more insidious, wouldn't it?
Well, it would, but
Because the dark side always gets you like, I will kill everyone you know. Now feel the anger, and now you're on my side for some reason. Like it feels like
the bad guys.
What if all that wonderful voice in the trailer that makes everyone feel like maybe they could be a Jedi is actually enticing them to the dark side? That would be cool.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I'd love to see like an explanation that kind of like Inside Out did with Sadness. Is like we sort of need the dark side. Like you need to be aware of it, and you need to be aware of what
Heroes
it can do.
need their villains.
And you need that balance.
Balance of the Force.
Balance
of the Force.
Yeah. There's also the clothing theory that Luke is shown in brown, and good people in Star Wars universe always wear brown. And as Anakin turns to the dark side, his clothes get darker and darker. I'm just saying. Just throw that out there.
They do?
One of the things I never noticed, and I think it's awesome in Return of the Jedi, is when he shows up at Jabba's palace, he chokes the Gamorrean guard.
Yes, he
There's
does.
no reason to do that.
No.
You have force powers. You can just wave your hand and have him step aside. But he chooses a violent approach, which is interesting.
Yep.
So what we're saying
He's
is
struggling.
Luke Skywalker,
And he's wearing black then.
he's wearing black.
Speaking of evil Mark Hamill,
Okay,
the
good.
Joker.
All right, fine.
That was good.
Yeah. There's all these new pictures of the Suicide Squad on the cover of Empire magazines, and they're all characters we've seen pictures of before, but now they're new, and people are going nuts. Discuss.
I'm very curious about this. It's not the designs I would pick. The tone of it looks very different than the way
Feels
I
very
would.
Joel Schumacher.
Are you saying you
doesn't
don't
it?
like the sweatpants?
No, actually, I kind of do.
You do
but
like the
it's-
sweatpants. They breathe.
They look comfortable.
I like that
he's
it looks
loose.
very
He's
David Ayer,
flying
and
free.
I like the
Yeah.
idea that David Ayer is making a David Ayer movie first and foremost. It's not the costumes or anything I would have picked. There's also a lot of discussion of is that even the Joker, or is that somebody that loves the Joker and has essentially become the Joker because of that love?
So it's sort of
Copycat
like
Joker.
the Gotham motif, where they tell you this one guy's the Joker, and then it turns out he's the guy who inspires all the Jokers.
Yeah,
Okay.
or I mean, there's something about the Joker where maybe he's bigger than the character. Maybe he's anyone that like has this madness.
Well,
Yeah.
there was the idea that someone floated that maybe Jared Leto's actually playing Jason Todd, who has gone insane and
yeah,
become the Joker. I don't care for that. though.
They've sort of said that that's not.
I saw it, and it's interesting.
It's an
and
interesting idea.
Yeah, I just wonder though, like, and again, we just spent a lot of time debating what may or may not happen with the movie we haven't seen yet. I wonder if maybe the speculation is not only more overpowering than the thing itself, but also more interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's impossible to say because we haven't seen the
Exactly.
other thing. But the
Right.
speculation, absolutely. I think the speculation is very interesting. I think in
love
any
that part of
major project, the speculation is.
Right.
Mr. Spock once said that having a thing is not so pleasing as wanting a thing. It is not logical, but it is often true.
That's how I
And-
felt about
That's
Star
true.
Trek Into Darkness.
And
No,
it's
well,
a lot of
maybe
things.
it's not con. Maybe it's not lazy. Like, no, it's actually was really lazy and you were overthinking it.
But that's the fun part of it. I think the speculation and the lead up, like all of this, all of what we're talking about today, like this, I love this stuff. I love trying to figure out what's going on, and they did release a lot of stuff from Suicide Squad. If that's whatever it ends up being, I liked the trailer. I'm excited to see it. So,
How do you feel about the speculation sort of changing about Indiana Jones?
I personally have a theory about Indiana Jones that what they're doing is the same as what we just heard Fox is doing with Die Hard, that we're going to get a story told in two different time periods. We're still going to have Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, but we'll also have a parallel flashback story with a different Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that because I feel like he keeps injuring himself, and we maybe shouldn't let him do action movies anymore.
What happened, for those who may not know, Frank Marshall has said that they're not going to recast Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford will continue to be Indiana Jones, but that doesn't mean the mantle can't be passed.
Right.
So it's possible they could do a flashback thing. I mean, Lord knows River Phoenix has been Indiana Jones before as well, so why not?
Sean Patrick Flannery is sitting by a phone right now.
She sure is. But the other thing is that one thing that they set up at the end of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was that maybe Mutt would be the next hero.
I think it's
No
pretty
one
safe
wants that.
to
No
say.
one wants
No
Mutt.
Mutt.
But that doesn't mean that we can't simply take this and like he could become like the mentor. Like Indiana Jones had mentors. Why can't he become a mentor to a new hero San Fernando Jones or New Jersey
Honestly,
Mike
I
or
think one of the
West
reasons
Virginia
that I don't
Jennifer.
want that is because the time period that Indiana Jones is set in is much more interesting than the time period it would have to be set in.
Yeah.
I don't care as much about Indiana Jones in the late 50s, but Indiana Jones in the late 30s and early 40s is awesome, and that's Indiana Jones. So if you can find a way to do both, say some artifact that he got when he was younger, we see that story played against the artifact coming back into his life sometime
words.
later.
Time travel.
Do a Star Wars crossover. He goes to some temple to get an artifact, and all of a sudden, he's like on another planet, and Han Solo's there.
Oh my God.
Well, Indiana Jones
And then he
had
beats
his
him
own-
up, and he disguises
Hang on.
himself as Han Solo.
Indiana Jones had a Marvel comic book series
Yeah.
crossover. All right. He actually teams up with Captain America in the middle of World War II. And then Jenna, take it away.
I have no idea what to even do with that. I'm just gonna push my glasses back up my nose now. I feel like we might want to leave this to the commenters.
Comments.
Yes.
Twitter, online, underneath the videos. More comments there.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.